My name is Joseph Zeta, and this is the video log of my trip to Ireland in March of 2016 with Kent State University. This trip was offered by the Department of Arts and Sciences and was led by Professor Claire Culleton, a noted scholar in Irish literature. While we were there, we learned about the 1916 Easter Rising, an integral part of Irish history. We started out our first day by traveling from Cleveland, Ohio to Dublin, Ireland, with a stopover at New York City's John F. Kennedy Airport. While we were waiting in Cleveland, however, I decided to make the first video of the trip, which I filmed with my iPhone. Of course, I was very careful not to hold it vertically or move the camera around or do anything else like an idiot. Right, so we are beginning our travel log here in gate B6 at Cleveland Airport. We're all here.
We are all here.
Because that way I can get a better picture.
I have Android, though,
and then we're all here. All here. Jin is over there. Is that over there? And we're just waiting for the plane to show up. In the yeah, I'm not a good cameraman. And anyways, after that, we took our requisite photo of us with the Kent State flag, where my head blocked out the letter E in Delta Airlines, and then we were off to New York. That flight was completely uneventful, except for the fact that I learned firsthand that some airplanes are much, much smaller than others. After that, we got to New York, and I got to make a personal goal out of seeing a Boeing 747 in person for the first time, and then we transferred to a much bigger airplane that not only flew us to Dublin, but it allowed me to stand up straight, something that I wish the manufacturers of the other aircraft had decided to do when they built it. Right. Video update. We've now changed at New York onto the bigger, much bigger, Delta flight to Dublin. Is going to take about 6 hours, and we will check in again upon landing in the morning. So, I will see you then. The flight to Dublin was just as uneventful as the flight to New York, however it was a bit longer, which did allow me to make use of Delta's in-flight entertainment systems. I managed to play a bit of Bejeweled, take in a Japanese action movie, and then I got some rest well before we landed in Dublin. We arrived in Dublin very early in the morning, and after a quick stop at our hostel and at a nearby market.
I don't know what I want. I might get some fruits for right now, just to start, get some energy.
Indeed. I'm going to get something with meat on it. We were off for a full day of tours and sightseeing. Right, so we're passing underneath the Christ Church Cathedral here in Dublin. And Claire, do you have anything interesting to say?
Yes, this is built in the site of Viking medieval Dublin, in a part of town called the Liberties.
Cool. And then look, it's got like a bridge abutment over the thing. Our first stop was Merrion Square, home to a very laid-back statue of Oscar Wilde and the starting-off point for the 1916 tour bus, which would take us around the city and show us important sites of the 1916 Easter Rising. Unfortunately... Look at what else is here! There's a carnival going on! Yes, a weekend carnival had shut down Merrion Square, meaning that we had to go to nearby St. Stephen's Green to catch the bus. Detouring through the park, we eventually made it to where the bus would stop, but not before we got caught up in... Just a marathon! In the middle of Dublin! With, they blocked off the street as the lead runners came down the way! Yes. A sudden marathon. I wouldn't actually mention this, but this is the only notable thing that happened at St. Stephen's Green on day one, mostly because the 1916 tour bus is a scheduling error and bumped us back to the next day. After that, we left St. Stephen's Green and headed for our last stop of the day, Dublin Castle, with a stopover for a light snack at a nearby pub along the way. The castle itself was very interesting. Built as a 12th century fortress, it served as the English seat of power until 1922, and was a crucial point for the Easter Rising, as it was not captured by the rebels, and thus denied them an important staging base that allowed the English to mount a counterattack. At this stage, everyone in the group was getting pretty tired, so we headed back to our hostel and got some rest. We started day 2 bright and early, taking the Lewis tram down to Kilmainham Jail, where we would spend most of the morning before going on to have lunch and then go finish the bus tour that we didn't get to take yesterday. Right, we're about to get on the tram to James's, where we're going to go to Kilmainham Jail. Right, so we're still in line at Kilmainham Jail. Claire, tell us things that we should know.
Okay, we're in Kilmainham Jail, waiting online to get in. We're going to be in for the 10:15 tour. This is the site of the 1916 executions, and it's a really wonderful tour. The guides are really great. So,
awesome. Awesome is right. The jail is an incredible look back into Ireland's history, as the dark and decrepit East Wing shows how awful it was to be a prisoner in old times, while the West Wing is a soaring cathedral to crime and punishment. Furthermore, this building is quite possibly one of the unsung heroes of the Irish Revolution, as the appalling treatment of the rebel leaders at the hands of the British turned the public sympathy in their favor for the first time, as previously the Easter Rising had been an unpopular movement among the Irish people. After finishing the engaging and actually very interesting tour of the prison, we had a quick lunch and then headed out to go on the bus tour that we'd been promised the day before. Going on the bus tour on the same day as going to Kilmainham Jail is one of the best ideas you can have while touring Dublin, as the two experiences complement each other perfectly, and if you go early in the week like we did, will also set you up rather well for what you will learn later in the week at the other various historical sites within the city. Day 3 is my favorite day of the whole trip, as we got to go to both Dublinia, an incredibly fun museum on how the Vikings were the original settlers of Dublin, and Glasnevin Cemetery, the simply awe-inspiring and absolutely massive Irish National Cemetery. Right, we're heading up A Street going to Dublinia, which is something that's to do with Viking Dublin, although, to be perfectly honest, none of us is quite sure what it is. Hashtag winging it. No, I'm not sure why I said that either. Anyway, Dublinia is a wonderful history museum telling the story of Dublin's founding by the Vikings, as well as modern Irish history, as well as Viking history. It talks about Dublin through the ages, just how it was the seat of British power in Ireland for very long, and about Viking weaponry, Irish weaponry, and many other interesting things. It also decided the best way to tell about ancient Viking sanitary habits was with fart jokes. I feel like I should make a fart joke here. Be classless. And they did it for me.
Don't just stand there. Bring me some more moss. Oh. 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 Oh.
Moving on, Dublinia is attached to Christchurch Cathedral, and actually is in that bridge bit over the road that we walked under yesterday. But it's also attached to St. Michael's Tower, which I decided to climb. Right, I'm climbing to the top of St. Michael's Tower. It's all the way up there. What I'll do for a good picture. I won't complain though, they were very good pictures, as the tower is one of the tallest points within the city of Dublin. Following that, we all got on a bus and went to Glasnevin Cemetery, Ireland's enormous and absolutely beautiful national cemetery. Our first stop was lunch at the historic Gravediggers Pub, named predictably, considering it's next to a cemetery, after the gravediggers who used to come in and frequent this establishment. Following lunch, we went on the tour of the cemetery, and our first stop was the tomb of Daniel O'Connell, the founder of the cemetery.
Right, so we're in the base of the tower that serves as Daniel O'Connell's headstone. At one stage, this whole structure had stairs leading up to it, but apparently in '71, the IRA, not the IRA, the UVA, the Ulster Revolutionary Forces, threw a bomb under the stairs. It went off, blew the staircases, through the whole staircase to the top of the tower, and then basically meant that since '71, no one's been able to go up there. Actually, they closed off the crypt till the '90s. But we're here now, and now we're going to go see his coffin. Because it was buried above ground, it's actually lead-lined, so he's probably perfectly preserved in there. And this is the bodies of his children, grandchildren, and other descendants who are also completely lined with lead, and they're also perfectly preserved. This whole crypt was recreated in 1991 after they reopened it. That one section is what it looked like in '91.
I think so, yeah. There's different dates in his life. You see, like he was arrested before for holding monster meetings, of course.
With few exceptions, all of Ireland's heroes have a spot within Glasnevin, right alongside their countrymen, and to walk through it and see the sheer number of people buried here is astonishing and exceptionally awe-inspiring. It is one of my favorite places that we went in all of Ireland. Day 4 was our longest day yet, with 3 museum visits and a play scheduled. Day 3, food is running low, morale is dying. Oh, I'm just kidding. We're going to the National Library for a special exhibition on the Irish in World War I. Claire, do you have any off-the-cuff comments to make? I guess.
Well, Ireland was split on whether they should fight with the British forces. The Southerners, the nationalists, said, no way, we're not fighting so England can win. And the people up north said, yes, we love the empire. We want to preserve it and fight for it. So it was a decisive moment. I'm sorry, it was a divisive moment.
The exhibition focused on how tensions between Ireland and the British Empire caused conflict during World War I, as sides had to be picked as to who to fight for, and also how these tensions all had an impact on the Easter Rising of 1916. Moving on from there, we went to the National Print Museum. The National Print Museum is a unique facility, as it shows not only how mechanical printing has evolved through the ages before it was replaced by more modern systems, but also how print media in general influenced the world, including the Easter Rising, as the proclamation of a new Irish Republic was reproduced primarily through industrial printing. Next, we traveled to the National Museum of Ireland, where they were holding a special exhibition on the Rising itself. This exhibit was like a big summary of everything that we had seen already in Dublin, but put together in one place. Following the museum, a group of us met with one of Claire's friends, Professor Pam from Kent State's Entrepreneurship Department, and went to go see The Plough and the Stars at the Abbey Theatre. Street right now, in front of the Abbey Theatre. We're about to go see Sean O'Casey's The Plough and the Stars. This is Pam. She's one of the professors at Kent State. She's one of Claire's friends. Tell us about what we're going to see, what this has to do with everything that we just did.
Okay, well, we're going to be going to the Abbey Theatre, which is the National Theatre of Ireland. We're going to be seeing Sean O'Casey's The Plough and the Stars, which is a play about the Easter Uprising of 1916.
Okay. Awesome. Photography was not allowed inside the theater, but after the play, I did manage to capture our reactions to the play. So, we just got out of the Plow and the Stars. What do we think of it all? Generalized?
Mixed.
Mixed?
Mixed.
What about you?
I liked it.
What about you?
What about me?
What did you think of the play?
Not bad.
Not bad. I thought it was interesting. There was as you can sort of see, they modernized the play, so
I don't know.
stylistically, a bit weird.
Yeah, why don't we go?
Right, so we're standing on the tram platform again. We're going to go off to the James Joyce Center, where our lovely leader Claire is going to be giving a lecture on Joyce. So what's the lecture going to be on, or are we going to find out later?
It's going to be on the sisters, but basically on Dubliners.
Awesome. And we're just waiting for the tram, which is like 2 minutes away. More to come later. We arrived at the James Joyce Center, where Claire did give her lecture, and I completely forgot to photograph or video it, but no matter, it was very good. And anyways, we then went around the exhibition, which talked about James Joyce's life and his books, including the publishing history of his books, such as Ulysses. After leaving the Joyce Center, we went to lunch in Chinatown, and then proceeded on to the Gardens of Remembrance, which was right next to the Hugh Lane Gallery in Dublin's Parnell Square. After the Garden of Remembrance, we went across the street to the Hugh Lane Gallery, a fantastic collection of modern art first put together by Irish art dealer Hugh Lane in the early 1900s. Since then, the gallery has increased in size and now includes works by Sean Scully and the entire studio of noted artist Francis Bacon. Once we finished at the Hugh Lane Gallery, we had a few hours to ourselves, and after that we met up for dinner, our last dinner in Ireland. At this point, I took what was probably our last video in Ireland. Right, so this is our last full day. We are at dinner. Say hello, class.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, class.
It's blinding.
Hello. How's your
Farewell dinner.
Farewell dinner. Look happy, Jen.
Holy crap, I'm telling you, dude, you should turn on the flash. Holy crap.
There, now look happy. That's close enough.
Exactly.
Say hello.
So we
Tell the internet hello.
Hello.
Hi, Internet.
Hi, internet.
Say hi, people at
But yeah, no, they're right across the street. Because the thing is, we ended up we were walking down.
the internet wants to see you.
We were walking down the.
Can someone poke her?
We were walking across the north end of the and we crossed the Haypenny.
Say hello to the internet. Hello. Oh my God, that is bright.
Yeah, very, very bright.
Right. Goodbye. After that was just about it. We flew home from Dublin that morning, and then we ended up in Cleveland later that afternoon. That's about it. Hey, we made it to Cleveland, finally. Now we just need to check our bags and we're done with it. You happy?
I'm happy to be home, yes.
Yes.